I'd like to share with you this week's Parshas Tzav, a beautiful explanation from Rebbe Yitzchok, the Rebbe's father. In this week's Parsha, we have the din, all about karbonis, and then the Torah says like this: "V'akhoin hamaqriv es'oiles ha'ish," the kohen that brings the oila, the burnt offering, the complete offering from any person, that means the bailim, the owners of that animal, or who bring the korban, oid ha'oila asher hikriv, the skin, the hide of the offering, of the korban, l'kohen lo yiyeh, it should belong and go to the kohen. So by korban oila, where everything was burnt on the mizbeach, the owners didn't get any part of it, meat to eat, even the kohenim didn't get. There's only one part that the kohen benefit, and that's from the skin, the hide of the animal. Oid ha'oila l'kohen lo yiyeh. Lehalacha, the Gemara talks about it in Zvachim Daf Kuf Gimel, and the Rambam brings it down la'alacha, that every part of the animal is holy. Once you bring the animal, this skin, this hide of the animal, l'kohen lo yiyeh, that belongs to the kohen could do whatever he wants with it. Technically, la'alacha, it has no more kedusha. If he wants, he can make boots out of it, he can make a belt out of it, pocketbook, whatever he wants. It belongs to the kohen. It's to the chush haparoti. It's the personal belongings of the kohen. It's a gift that he gets. From this, the Gemara also learns out, not only by oila, but also all kodeshei kadashim, all korbonis that were kodeshei kodshim, which means that they were brought in the mishkan and also in the Beis Hamikdash, and the food the kohenim got, they got a part like the osham korban. They would have to eat it only inside the Beis Hamikdash, in the holy temple, and it had its laws of a higher level of kedusha, as we'll soon speak. So now Rabbi Yitzchok asks, what do you think the kohenim did with the hide that they get? What do they do with all the oil? Do they really use it for mundane things, for shoes or for boots? So Rabbi Yitzchok is maxadsh, an unbelievable thing, and he said like this: the Mishnah and the Gemara mentioned before in Zvachim Daf Kuf Gimel states, "Oiros kochi kalim lebailim, oiros kochi kodeshim lekoyenim." There were two types of karbonos. There were karbonos which are kochi kochim, as mentioned before, and those were only brought into Beis Hamikdash and eaten the food by the Kohenim only in the Beis Hamikdash. Kochim kalim, a lower level of kedusha, they were eaten like a korban shlomin. It was divided into three parts. The mizbeach got the fats and many parts of the animal. The bailim, the owners got most of the animal to eat, and they could eat it all over in Yerushalayim. And the kohanim had to eat their part in the Beis Hamikdash. But there was the bailim's part, the owners, that they could eat it all over Yerushalayim. So the Mishnah says that the skin, which was from kochi kochim, and only the kohanim eat from that food. So the oiros, the skin, the kohanim would get. The kochim kalim, which also the owners got a piece of the meat, a part of the meat to be eaten in the entire Yerushalayim, not only the Beis Hamikdash. So since the korban was taken outside, the oiros also, the Gemara learns, the Mishnah says that who got the oiros from the kochim kalim were the bailim, or the owners. So here's Rabbi Yitzchok is maxadsh, an unbelievable thing, that the kohanim, he says, they used to take these oiros, these skin and hide of the animals, of the karbonos. It was a holy thing. And they would make tefillin out of it. And here he brings a very interesting Gemara. The Gemara says in Zvachim Daf Yutes that the kohen b'shas da avoida, when they had to work in the Beis Hamikdash, they couldn't wear, during the time of the service, they couldn't wear the tefillin on the arm, because the halacha is that the big de kahuna, the garments, the priesthood garments, had to touch the actual flesh. there shouldn't be a chatzitza, shouldn't be a separation between the garment and their flesh, their skin. So they couldn't wear the tefillin shel yad, which would be a separation in between the garment on the arm and the muscle, the skin, what they had to put the tefillin on. But the Gemara says they wore the tefillin shel roish on their head. So is Machadish Rabbi Levi Yitzchok and says that the oiros, the skin that the Kohenim got, and there was also a special room, it was called Lishkos Beis HaParava. There was a special room where they used to bring in all the skin and the hide from the kochim, and they used to salt it there, and they used to soften it up, and that was a room especially for the Kohenim to divide amongst themselves the skin of the animal. What did they do with that skin? They used it for the tefillin sharoish. They needed skin. They needed hide and skin from an animal to make the bottom, to make the boxes of the tefillin. They used it for when they needed the service for the korbanos. The oiros of the kochim kalim, which the bailim, the owners of they got the meat, the shlomim and the toida that they would eat outside of Beis HaMikdash. Also, they would use the oiros for what? For tefillin. But by them, they made sai sharosh and sai shel yad. I'm not going to go into now big bariches. The Rebbe's father also explains, I'll just tell you in a nutshell in a moment, that the essence of the biur, it's a long biur, we'll talk about it maybe perhaps another time, that this itself also fits with their avodah. Why the Kohenim only b'shas, they did the service in the temple, they only wore sharosh, and the Yidden in the outside of the Beis HaMikdash wore sai sharosh and sai shel yad. So this fits with the general difference between tefillin sharosh and tefillin shel yad. Tefillin sharosh is what's called moichin. It's in general the inyan from learning Torah, using out our mind, servicing Hashem through the knowledge through Torah. The hand symbolizes the mitzvahs, the occupying yourself in the world and elevating the world, going into the world. And that's the difference in general between a Kohen and a Yisrael. A Kohen who was more separated, he was Kodesh Lashem, he was separated from the mundane world, so his avodah was more the Tefillin Sharosh part. And that's why b'shas avodah he only wore Tefillin Sharosh. So it's not only because there was a chatzitza, there was also b'pnimius, he was more shayich and more connected to Tefillin Sharosh than he was with the Tefillin Shayat. The regular Yisrael or Levi was outside the Beis HaMikdash. He was involved in the world, especially the Israelim. So by him, he had to have Sait Shasharosh and Sait Shalyat. But that's a separate discussion. The main point I wanted to bring out tonight, the חידוש niflא from Rebbe Levi Yitzchok, is that from the tefil from the oiros, from the skin, from the kochim, the Kohenim made tefillin sharosh. And for the kochim kalim, they made tefillin in general. So chas v'shalom, they didn't use it out for something mundane. It was used for something very holy, for the mitzvahs tefillin.